There's your wallpaper. And I double checked the price. And they're $900 a piece. Let's go listen to them. Triangle Borea BR09s. I'm in linear so that it doesn't make that screen like a bubble, which makes it a little zoomed in, which means a little, but trust me, I'll try to hold my head as still as possible. So I've had these speakers, the white towers, not the black boot cards, those are there. Had them upstairs for weeks. And I have to apologize for Triangle because they sent them to me and I'm like, oh, they look so good. I'll show you how good they look. Hold on, let me straighten the, this. We have to talk about that. But, God, they look so good. But then the cloth gray, will come into these weird lights, the gray fabric covers with the Triangle logo. There's just a logo, it's a triangle, it's straight out of Dune, and the magnets, and it's like, so you either get that cleanliness or you get that just, I think some people would say it's a visual mess, but as a man, I'm like, yeah, mess me up with that mess. So since these are magnetic, boom, have it right to my poles. We've got the top of the line in the Borea Run tower. So I did the little Borea bookshelf, which is basically this. And I didn't like it. Ever remember that review? I was like, fuck, why don't I like this Borea? I don't like these. I don't like them. They need a low end. They need more low end. I don't understand them. So to compensate for the lacking 3 6.5s. Now we have towers. So I'm going to take the covers off both because I feel like that's a requirement. I apologize if the lighting is weird. This space was never intended to be a review space. But I just finished the review of the Benchmark AHB2. And that's 100 watt per channel, THX, cleanest amplifier in the space fucking Earth. Like if aliens came to Earth, they're like, give us your cleanest speaker amplifier, there it is. And so I figured this was a good time. I'll carry down the triangles and set them up and start the listening process. The listening process is over. Let's review these things. They're fucking amazing. Like I had the boot cart set up first on the amplifier because I figured these are like $2,200 a pair. And they're bookshelves, and they got the backfiring thing, and they got the whole spatial thing, and I'm doing over here, and I'm sitting down low because they're low. And I listen to them, and like, these are impressive on this amplifier. And then I rolled the triangles in the way, the BR09s, and proceeded to literally forget why I even hooked up the boot cards. And here's the thing, the A500 boot cards, this is getting off on a slight tangent, but the A500s are more impressive than any other speaker because they're self-powered, active, multiple drivers doing DSP corrections and shit like that. So the basic ones are just good speakers. And no matter how good your good speakers are, when you have more good speaker, you have more good speaker. Does that make sense to everybody? Great. Like those can't twist time and space no matter how good the amplifier is because they're still relying on an old school crossover and physics. Whereas the A500s can bend physics. The Swans I have over there, the M300 Mark IIs, can bend physics. So when you're talking about a standard passive set of speakers that need an amplifier, when this just happens to be this amplifier, it relies on you engineering it properly, front ported, 3 6.5s in a separate chamber, then that 6.5 that is dedicated to the mid-range, then you got a tweeter up there, which is a soft dome, and then you just hit next track, and it's just like... I can't... And it's supposed to stutter like that, that's a thing in the song. Because here's the thing, I'm not anywhere near where a speaker should be in this room. I'm way far away from that wall, so they can't really use the back to reverberate, although these are front ported, and I think has a lot to do with why I'm getting such bass impact. The boot carts are sort of lost because they're rear firing passives that are like, help, wall, and the wall's 10 feet away. But when you have a front ported design like this, it's not really relying on the back wall to reverberate and bring it back forward. It's all forward, all of it. And I could tell you it's working. So I sit here, and $900 a piece means I still have to put a gemstone in the title, because it's still $1,800 for the pair, unless for some reason you want just one of them. And then you could ignore the fact that this is an $1,800 pair and it's just a $900 individual speaker. But the blending of everything, and then the treble, because Triangle's known for that like cone tweeter that's just like chrome and that deep with a point in it. It's like, oh my God, something from the Event Horizon. But I love their Alaras, the Triangle Alaras, the self-powered ones on my shelf back there. And those are just a nice soft dome. And they do the magical shit because they're self-powered. And it's nice to hear this soft dome on this Borea line, which is, I believe the Borea is the lowest end of the towers that Triangle makes. Because Triangle's like, this is the top of the line tower of the Borea line. Then there's like 3 or 4 lines above Borea. So the fact that I'm sitting here with these flagship yet lowest tier and being this impressed means just where, because I've done higher, more expensive Triangles, and I know where they possibly could go, but I've never heard this. I never heard the actual towers. It's always been bookshelves. So when the Borea speakers, the actual Borea bookshelves, were meh to me, to the point where I told them this and they sent me a whole other set, and I was like, nope, still meh. Had other people verify different amplifiers. I didn't like them. And now I'm going to sit here and I'm going to listen to the imaging, that piano. This is obvious from Blues Brothers. Everyone knows that. Is not there. It's not there. It's right above that boot cart. And it's exactly 14 inches wide. I can hear how wide the piano is. Why? How? How do I know that? Is it the amplifier? I'm going to give a lot of credit to this amplifier because most people who buy these speakers, in fact, I would say probably 99.9% of people who own any speakers will never have that benchmark THX amplifier in their possession. Fuck, I do audio reviews and I'm just borrowing it from somebody. So, though I may have to buy one. As I sit here, ignore the amplifier for a bit because I've used it on different amps. I'm sourcing it off the Shanling EM5 because we're in a really weird position here. Like I can't go and do my whole home theater wallpapers. It's just strange. But I have to do this review today because I know it's going to happen. I am amazed by what I'm hearing. And in 2 or 3 days, I'll be less amazed. And in 4 or 5 days, I want my fucking theater back and I'll be moving things out of the way. Listen to me. Whatever these triangles are doing, Triangle, do that again, but bigger. Because I'm getting pummeled by low end in the best way possible, all front firing, all tight. And then the imaging and vocals, we get to a vocals song. That's not it. What is this? No. I don't even know what anything is anymore. Geschaffelstein, Girls Last Tour. Great music in Girls Last Tour, just no vocals. Glass Animals has some. Holy fuck. Like, I'll tell you what this is because you're going to ask. This is Caro Mio Ben from Giuseppe Giordano. Giuseppe. Doesn't sound like a Giuseppe singing, but I'll take it. I would love to play music more, but I really want monetization to stay on these videos, and it can't if I play more than like 4 seconds. Which is why it always sounds fractured, and don't tell me to use copyright-free music, because guess what? I've tried that, and sometimes the copyright just appears like next year, and then it blocks all my videos. I am probably, of all the triangle speakers I've listened to, price to performance, other than the Alara self-powereds, these are the winners. They're towers. They're full fuck towers. They're not small by any means. I mean, I've got them on rolling carts just for ease of transport and to get the height a little bit better since I have the couches. Since I have the Zeos Link to Valencia seating thing for that. That's the floor with the love seat. I have those up on an 8-inch platform plus an inch, so about 9 inches of platform. So these are up about 4 inches off the floor on rolling carts. And, you know, we're backed with padding and the floor is covered and the ceiling is covered. So I've got sort of a room going on here. It's pretty dead. And as they sit here just talking forward, you can look at the finish. You could tell this is the Borea line and not their higher end line because it's just a vinyl covering. It's just white vinyl. It's not painted. No one put shellac and lacquer and it's just a white vinyl speaker. I'm fine with that. Can I rotate this around so you could actually see the front? You guys can see the front, right? Take the camera off my head so you can see the front. Oh yeah, you can see this just fine. Put the back of my head now. The rubberized waveguide around the tweeter, the little guards that protect a kid from poking his finger in, so he can get it from the side. Then you have fake waveguide. I thought it was a real one for a second. Fake waveguide with a paper surround. This is our paper cone, which is actually good. Paper surround. And this is our like vocals mid-range speaker. Again, rubber here. And then you got our foam flat triple. And the only thing that this is missing is dual binding posts, which means you can't bi-amp it, which... I'm sorry, Gendo, I'll fix you later. Which means you can't bi-amp it, so you can't separate it and throw more low end or adjust the bias between this. But of all the speakers, like the Heresies, the Klipsch Heresies there, need bi-amping, because you got to take those horns, you got to lower them the fuck down at certain volumes, because they just outrun the 12-inch. This whole setup on that amplifier, which is 100 watts per channel at 8 ohm, like perfect 100 watt per channel 8 ohms, I've not found any flaw in the way it sounds. That's fucking weird. You understand the depth of the vocals? Their speakers aren't here. They're just not here. It's way back there. This sounds better than 90% of the rooms at Capital Audio Fest. Just this, just you know, it's a $3,000 amplifier, granted, but this thing with the flaying flack is like $720. So this is the player and DAC. So that's relatively affordable, and then it goes down to a slightly pricey amplifier, and then it goes to speakers that are only worth, actually the amplifier is worth more than the speakers. But this room, if you had this room at Capital Audio Fest, it would have been the best room there. Just sitting in the dead center listening to this. I don't hear the speakers at all. I just hear the music. And I've experienced this a few times. I'm actually going to... So this started off as a review of the Benchmark, which I completed 25 minutes ago. And I turned it into this review of this. And what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to go get the Topping PA5, which is their new speaker amp, and I'll hook it up just in place of that. And then during that review, I'll know if it's the amplifier that's making these sound. You know what? I'll do it right now. I'll do it right now. And this way I could tell you, oh, obviously it was the $3,000 amplifier and not the speakers that are amazing. So give me a sec. So swap the amp out. Now that's a Topping PA5, which is like a $350 amplifier instead of a $3,000 amplifier. Balanced still got balanced inputs. I had to adjust the volume on that, adjust the gain out on this to sort of like make sure everything's copacetic. And now I'm just swapping through tracks. And wait. Okay. I can't keep playing music. I want to play music. I think 5 to 7% of the greatness I was hearing was coming from the amplifier. 5%. Because there's like a little bit less separation, and it's a little bit less, like the bass is still good, but not quite. Because we're going from like I think this is still actually probably 80 watts per channel, but it distorts at higher volume. So the point is, of the listening I've done so far, which is the Susu Studio, these are still the best triangles I've heard, besides the wow, I lost the name of the fucking purple eggplant ones. I think they're called the fucking LN01As now. They're not called what they were called when I reviewed them. It's weird. But I have not noticed like, oh, these sound like shit now. It's all amp. It's nice to know the amplifier is actually making a difference though. I was kind of worried I would swap it and I wouldn't hear a single bit of difference. And then I'm like, oh God, am I a good reviewer? Because I just praised the crap out of that fucking benchmark amp. And yeah, no, this is probably going to be an amazing amplifier when I actually sit down at a desk with it. And I'm using it for this, which is kind of more along the lines of power draw, but you know, I have no issue with what I'm hearing right now. Oh yeah. Towers are still amazing. Kind of ironic that I'm playing the Tower of God soundtrack. Am I right? Right. See what Random Fate did there?
How many times have
he's over there?
Heard someone say
Johnny Cash is doing.
If I had his money,
I could do things my way. Great album. Not great recording. Like it's a lot of Johnny Cash sounds like shit. No offense to Johnny Cash fans. It's just it definitely wasn't done to like the highest audiophile standards of recording. Great music though. You have it, don't I? Damn. That's also not well recorded, but my God, is it loud. More Kevin Penkin. Oh, I could turn on the information thing. I didn't know that was a thing. Look at that. I didn't know that button was a button. Yeah, I'm still giving every bit of praise. That's from the Helsing OST, the Helsing OVA. Every bit of praise still to these triangle towers. Do they sound better on a $3,000 amplifier? Yes. Do they sound like absolute shit on this amplifier? No. Will I go back to the other one? Maybe. But I'm still giving them my full endorsement. Like right there.
Seymour Krellboy. So finally we meet you. This is an occasion. Let's toast it. Up yours. Relax. Let's talk turkey. Sign here. We'll book you on lecturing tour.
The Meek Shall Inherit. Little Shop of Horrors. Wow, I need to watch Little Shop of Horrors again. Anyway, yeah, no, I'm perfectly satisfied. If this was the only amplifier I had, and I had to listen to these speakers, I have no problem with that on earth. Having that amplifier sort of fucks things up. Because that amplifier is, the big benchmark amplifier is a fuck. Fuck you, a big benchmark amplifier, with your fucking perfection. You're making normal. I'm afraid to go on my vintage Japanese stuff. Like, oh, what is that? Vintage Japanese? Is it THX modern tech? No? Aw.
Darling, we're sending photographers Thursday, so get the plant ready and wear a clean shirt. Just sign this release. Read a pen. Aren't you thrilled?
I still don't know where the speakers are. It's just things happening in front of me. Now, what is the WAF going to have to say about this? For everybody who doesn't know, the WAF is the Wife Acceptance Factor. I think with the covers off, they're busy. As much as I know women tend to, or certain men, tend to gravitate towards like white cones, the fact that it's only one white cone and 3 blacks, that's going to be like, it hurts me a little bit. As a person who likes the way these speakers look, The fact that they cut off the edge of the circle, and then you got the one white woofer, and then 3 black woofers, and a port that's smaller, and then this, it kind of matches the size, because you got the circle and that. But I think a lot of people, you're gonna end up getting these in your house, you'll take them off to show your friends, and then you're gonna put this right the fuck back on. Because guess what? They still sound amazing with them on, and no one can poke their fingers into it. So I think this is how everyone's going to enjoy these triangles. Now I got to set up my microphones for sound demo of these. Do I want to swap back and forth amplifiers to show off the quality of the amplifier change? I'm literally making more work for me live on camera right now. This is something I should be considering when I'm on the toilet, not filming, because of course I want to do that. Bear McCreary, Battlestar Galactica. Battlestar Galactica had one of probably the best TV show soundtracks that has ever been. Too bad the ending sucked. You don't know what this is from. Yeah, now these are these the best These might be the most cohesive towers I've listened to in a while, because I'm looking at my JBL studios over there. Got the 590s, the 580s, the 570s are upstairs, and those do impressive like things, but these are just more cohesive and doing a thing with the imaging that's just more depthy than those ever did. Those are grand things. The big RF7s are grand. They sound like they sound like impressive towers. And I think these are hiding. Like this is just sounds impressive versus sounds impressive as a speaker. Now this doesn't take like your mind off of the music. It's like, oh, I hear the low end, or it just all becomes a big blended wall of sound, and you enjoy the hell out of it. So bravo, Triangle. You've won me back. Those double Borea failures was like, over 11 seconds, probably gonna get copyright strike. Fuck, we're infringement. And then no. Thank you for supporting me on Patreon and subscribe. I'm done. I literally am done. I have to be done because I could just keep going on and on. I could change another amp. Let's put those tube amps on here. There's nothing else to talk about. The back's plain. It's got normal binding posts. They look gorgeous with the covers on or off. I actually kind of prefer them with them on. And then you could just see, you could spot the drivers on the edge. Links to these in the description. Thank you to Triangle for sending them out. Sound demo in the description in another channel. That'll probably come out around the time this comes out, or a little bit later, or a little earlier, depending on how life works. Yeah, this is awesome. These are awesome. I finally have like renewed faith in Triangle. I just need to get some of their bigger towers now, so that I could really screw my stuff up and then be like, oh fuck, why are my heresies still there? Just yank those out of there. Links to these, links to both amplifiers, because they both work. Links to that thing, the wallpaper, which we got to run back now. I'll be back, speakers, don't worry. Sorry about the linear if it feels all shaky. But there's your wallpaper. If you haven't seen Fire Force, season 1 was amazing. Season 2, like the B Squad came and animated for most of it, but then when the A Squad showed up to animate, you fucking knew it. So that wallpaper is available in the description. Patreon and Subscribe Star. Help support this channel. See reviews early. Participate in yard sales. How many speakers can I hold on to before I have to sell them? Participate in yard sales. And get into the sound demo oasis, where lots of sound demos for modern sound demos exist, and all the sound demos that have gone missing from YouTube also exist. So if you missed those, you want to hear them again, that's where it is. $10 a month puts you in the behind the scenes private Telegram chat, which gains you access to a lifetime swap meet channel where you can trade gear with other lunatics that like me. And then Hi-Fi Guides in the Hi-Fi Guides forum, I'm going to try to use more, bring a lot of my community there, do polls, actually run things. I know I did that for the Black Friday, Cyber Monday week. sort of thing. I just want to sort of shove everyone in a spot that I could check in one place, because no one wants to check YouTube comments. And Telegram is a free-for-all, except for like the patronage chat. So if I can get everyone focused around Hi-Fi Guides and we can get some sponsors in that, we could do wonderful things, hopefully, in the future. I could sponsor like Can Jams and RMAFs and ZMAFs. So that, and that. That's it for today. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to check out that sound demo and the wallpaper in the description. And I will see you all in the next one, whenever the hell that is, which is probably going to be 2 days from now, because I put them out every 2 days, every other day. I used to be every day. Thank God I don't have to do that anymore. But see you later anyway.